Hey there, this is Heather from the Renaissance English History Podcast, and this is your Tudor Minute, your mostly weekly dose of all things related to medieval and Renaissance England. So I'm actually at Cordoba Cathedral today. Cordoba is a city in Spain, in Andalusia, and during the 10th, 11th century, it was actually like the capital of the world. There were more books in the Cordoba library than there were in the rest of Europe combined. And it was an amazing center for learning and for medicine and for architecture and mathematics, all kinds of stuff. And there was this amazing mosque here. And I'm in the gardens of the mosque. And you can see all this Arab architecture behind me. And it was an amazing place. Cordoba was actually the capital of Roman Spain and then Byzantine, Hispania, and it's an amazing spot. So how this relates to Tudor England, right? How do you relate Cordoba to Tudor England? Besides the fact that there would have been trade going on, and this was an amazingly cosmopolitan city. The way it relates to Tudor England is that the big event of 1492 wasn't Columbus sailing the ocean blue. It was actually the Reconquista being successful and kicking the last Moors out of Granada. This was done by Ferdinand and Isabella, who were the parents of Katherine of Aragon. How that relates to Tudor England is that Katherine of Aragon saw her mother, who was an independent queen herself. She didn't rule as a consort of her husband. She ruled as an independent queen who was the Queen of Castile. She married Ferdinand of Aragon. They joined their kingdoms, but she was still independent. And she actually rode her horse into battle and participated just like a man would. Although she did groom her children to be more consorts, her daughters, to be more consorts than actual independent queens, she was this very strong presence for Katherine of Aragon. And it relates later on when Katherine only had a daughter, and Henry so desperately needed a son. And Katherine was in this position of not really understanding why did Henry need a son so much. She had seen her mother rule independently, and she had seen that women could rule independently and be really powerful. I mean, the Reconquista was something that had been going on for 500 years, and it finally succeeded under her mother. And Cordoba was one of the places that was conquered earlier on as well. And so it really influenced Katherine and her thinking about the role of women as queenship, and that a woman could actually be queen and reign on her own. And maybe it wouldn't be that bad for Mary to reign on her own. Henry, of course, had this different perspective because there hadn't been a queen in England since Matilda in the 12th century, and that was during a period of great civil war. And so England really thought that they needed to have a man. So the really interesting thing about Cordoba Cathedral is that it's a mosque, and during the height when Arabs ruled here, when the Moors were here, Christians and Muslims and Arabs all worshipped together here. They weren't kicked out. It was a very cosmopolitan city that accepted all three religions. Now, when Isabella captured Granada and they had all of Spain, her first move was to kick out the Moors and the Jews, right? So even though Christians were accepted in places like Cordoba, she wasn't so forgiving. And she brought the Inquisition to Spain, and there's actually a museum here about the Inquisition because it was really big in Cordoba. It was the center of the Inquisition, and she brought the Inquisition to Spain. One thing that they did here in the mosque was they actually built a cathedral on the inside of the mosque. So if I stand like this, you can see there's a tall part of it right there. And that is the inside of the mosque. They actually built walls, and they have a full cathedral in there with a choir and with an organ, and it's like an ornate Baroque cathedral that we would expect to see at St. Paul's or something like that. It's amazing. So that was all kind of down to what was started by Isabella and how that would, of course, influence her daughter and influence her daughter's views on women. And and daughters and queenship and everything like that. So, Cordoba. To learn more about the Renaissance English History Podcast, you can go to http://www.englandcast, ENGLAND, Englandcast, CAST, englandcast.com, or you can go to facebook.com/englandcast. And now I need to find my husband and my daughter before my daughter trips or kills somebody or kills herself. They're around here somewhere. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!